Welcome to the Government News Brief for Wednesday, January 20, 2016. In the news, government to secure more land for housing development, opportunities to open up for Wales estate workers, rare biodiversity species found in the Iring River, and traversing into Sapphire will soon be made easier and faster. With these and other stories, I am Azim Khan. The Housing Department of the Ministry of Communities is now working to secure lands to be made accessible for housing development. Paul McAdam reports.
Minister Valerie Patterson, who is responsible for housing, today told members of the public that negotiations will commence soon with agencies that have large tracts of unused lands to facilitate the government's housing drive.
We want to use it to issue us house lots, then we're going to negotiate with them. So it means that more lands will be made available for us to make available to you, either as house lots or we can use it to build houses to give to you.
The new policy of the Housing Department under the coalition government will see the entire necessary infrastructure being installed before lands are allocated. Minister Patterson explained that this is a desire of President David Granger.
He wants us to put in infrastructure, put in roads, even if it is not to the best quality in the first instance, and even if we give it to you, it's usable, we have to give it with a promise that within a year or so, we're going to make it top quality road. He wants us to ensure it has electricity and water.
The Housing Department is currently working on eliminating its biggest challenge, that of clearing the backlog of some 25,000 house lot applications.
The Guyana Sugar Corporation's management says the closure of the Wales estate will see the opening up of new opportunities for workers and others who will be affected. Again, Paul McAdam reports.
Gaisuco's Chief Executive Officer, Errol Hanneman, said that the corporation's management is currently examining ways to utilize the Wales West Bank Demerara Estate's resources through diversification.
During the course of this year, we will embark on some exploration of ideas in relation to non-sugar projects. And we're hopeful that by the 1st of October, we can start on a commercial scale at least one of these at Wales, which we are assured will make profits, which sugar is not, and will also create employment.
Hanneman added that once this diversification plan is successful, Gaisuco could become more efficient and eventually profitable.
Going hand in hand with sugar is a series of non-sugar activities which are profitable from the beginning. So that when you consolidate that business, what you end up with is a profitable enterprise. Because, as we all know, the sugar industry is not merely a producer of sugar, but it plays a significant role in drainage and irrigation, primary health care, community services, and what have you. But we do have a duty to try and make the industry less costly, more efficient. But we also have a duty to put poor performing assets to work, try and create profits through other activities, create employment, so that when we look at the group a few years down the road, we have a profitable enterprise. And this is our hope, and we are optimistic that this scenario can materialize.
60% of Wales Estate's drainage and irrigation infrastructure is run down, and 75% of its bridges are in a dilapidated state. Cultivation of its lands is also in poor condition. Wales is projected to lose about $2 billion this year, and the cost to fix this rundown estate would be too expensive. Closing the Wales estate has been on the cards for some time now. Hanneman said Gaisuco had been diverting funds from high-performing estates to prop up that estate. Continuing this practice, he said, would put the future of the entire sugar industry in jeopardy, since Gaisuco is producing sugar at a massive loss. The price of sugar on the world market is currently 13 cents, whilst Gaisuco's cost of production is 40 cents.
Traversing Sapphire will soon be made easier as a project is currently underway to rehabilitate the housing scheme's internal roads. Here are the details.
Sophia residents will soon have easy access to their homes and businesses through one of the initiatives to transform the country's infrastructure, including providing quality roads for community access. The paved network will go through B, C, and D fields, Sophia, and on completion, commuters will be able to travel from A field into E field.
We're at A field, Sophia. This is the extremity. This would be the southern extremity of A field. And what they're doing is joining these roads across to B field. And this exercise would go to C field, D field, right into A field. So it's a simultaneous exercise because they're doing some work on the Dennis Street, which is the other extremity, Dennis Street Road. You would have seen some work being done there, the piling of that crucial stretch, which normally slips in and is always prone to some level of slippage. And we are going all the way up to E field. There would have been excavation of the old road structures and a complete rehab and rebuilding of the road structures. It would also entail the removal of some of the GWI mains, just a relocation of those mains to put in the necessary culverts, bridges, and conduits that are necessary for the continuation of this exercise.
Even people out to the community that passing through every day feeling a lot more secure as with these, you know what I mean, vehicles, the police, them could worse and see if crimes are performing or whatever, you understand me? So it's wonderful.
Sophia is one of the largest housing areas in the country, and like other housing areas, efforts are underway to transform the infrastructure, such as roads and bridges. With this Government News Brief, I am Shanta Goberdan reporting.
Special attention will be given to promoting businesses through the Competitiveness Program to attract foreign investors in Guyana. Details in this Shanaza Low report.
The Competitiveness Program seeks to boost businesses in Guyana through strengthening public and private dialogue and improving the business environment.
The need for public-private dialogue cannot be overstated. Consensus between these two key players for the development and implementation of a national competitiveness strategy, or whatever we may choose to call it, is critical if we seriously want to improve the competitiveness of Guyana's economy when it comes to attracting investments.
This competitiveness needs to be placed on the national agenda and supported institutionally, as this will positively affect businesses operating in Guyana.
In the area of improving the business environment for private investments and export development, our government is committed to prioritizing Guyana's economic development. As the driver of growth, the private sector is a key stakeholder in Guyana's economic development and must be supported with a business environment that is conducive to growth and development.
The Ministry of Business will be collaborating with state agencies in implementing 2020 plans and the submission of new projects towards making Guyana attractive to conduct businesses.
The Iring River is teeming with rare species of biodiversity. This was discovered after a survey was conducted on the ecotourism and biodiversity of the Oranduke Falls and the Upper Iring River. Rare species of fishes and frogs were found during a survey done by a North American team sponsored by the World Wildlife Fund. Among the fishes found were the South American darters and a new species of catfish called the punk catfish. These findings are said to be linked to the history of the Iring River in Region 8. Discovered also was the rare gold carlopin frog, which is slowly diminishing due to fungal disease in the Upper Iring River. Samples of the species were collected by the team to track continuous change of these species due to climate change. Minister in the Ministry of Social Protection Keith Scott continues to meet with trade unions to discuss possible collaboration. Sanika Thorne reports.
Members of the Guyana Public Service Union, the Guyana Teachers Union, the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Guyana, and the National Association of Agricultural Commercial Workers met with Minister in the Ministry of Social Protection Keith Scott. The meetings served to establish a basis for cooperation and understanding between the unions and government. The unions were urged to be involved in more dialogue and amicable discussions, even as they seek to fight for the rights of workers.
Historically, trade unions do have a posture of aggression and a posture of that they feel they have to fight for everything. That is history. But at the same time, It's a new dispensation, which I'm now leading, and I feel that if we were to be able to establish a position where there is much more dialogue, much more amicable discussions, then solutions that we have to fight for, that in some cases we might win, but may leave a bitter taste in the mouth. We can move away from that level of that type of discussions to the level where everything can be put on a plate in a nice amicable way, and equally all of us can walk away smiling.
Minister Scott also charged the union to work together as they have one common objective, which is to safeguard workers' rights. He noted that his dream is to join all the unions together and have one large Labour Day rally on May 1, 2016.
For too long we've had the different set of meetings. The split, the disunity, where some close off at TUC, Critchlow, some close off at Park, some turn and head straight back to the union, some don't even participate. And that is one of the saddest moments. And the contradiction is that here it is, we get up and we mount trade union unity. We get up and we sing Solidarity Forever, and we sing the International. And we are not even struck by the hypocrisy that we are practicing as leaders.
The minister explained that he will be pursuing an open door policy through which he will be meeting with every union and stakeholders in the labour sector. With this government news brief, I am Sineca Thorne.
That has brought us to the end of the government news brief for Wednesday, January 20, 2016. All our programs are on our website. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. Remember to send us your Guyana Nice photo. Here is ours.